But guys, I want to welcome on our first guest, Anna Morgan. I'm super excited to have her on.
Yeah.
Let's introduce her. I think we have an introduction. Yeah, here she is. A little bit about her. Fascinating woman. She's got some really interesting things to say. So, Anna, you with us? Let's see, Anna Morgan. There she is. Lovely and red. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Fantastic. It's an amazing day. You guys crushed that. You provided so much value.
Oh God, that's
I
not
learned.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, and by the way, I love my shout outs for my Cowboy fans. We're getting some comments from some fellow Cowboy fans. Yeah, there's some good representation. Love it. Love it. All right. So Miss Anna, tell us about yourself. Let's start with that.
So my name's Anna Morgan. I am the owner of Career BFF. I am a rescuer of animals and careers. So I coach job seekers and career changers on networking, building relationships, and ultimately getting hired faster and finding positions that align with their purpose and passion. And I spent many years in agency recruiting and a couple years in corporate recruiting. So I've taken that knowledge and now I share it with job seekers to help them through their process. And I'm a mother of one human child named Charlotte. I have 4 rescue dogs and a very gorgeous husband like you, Catherine, that I just celebrated 20 years of marriage with. So
congratulations. Congratulations. I've been only 16 and a half and I'm pretty proud of myself. So
yeah, one of the hardest and most rewarding jobs I've ever had.
I'm working on my ladies.
Right. So Anna, I mean, one of the things I thought was really interesting about you when we spoke was kind of your story of how you came to found your current company. So can you tell us a little bit about that and what motivated you?
For many, many years working as an agency recruiter, you guys can relate to this. I was like, oh, I'll never go to corporate. Like only bad recruiters go to corporate, right? And then I hit my mid 40s and I was like, I love the sales grind. I love the hustle. I was always a top producer. I loved serving my candidates and my clients and working with a lot of different industries. And I was recruited into a corporate position when I wasn't looking, which is the best way to land a new opportunity. And I loved the corporate side too. And it was perfect kind of where I needed to be in my life. And so I really had an opportunity to learn, corporate recruiting, talent acquisition, the whole performance management. It was really cool because on the agency side, you have 45 different clients and you work in accounting, you work in marketing. My background is more in accounting and finance, but I've been a generalist throughout my career. So I got into corporate and about a year in, observing everything, I was like, I think I want a side hustle, which I recommend everyone have some kind of second revenue stream, right? I just thing for anyone today. If you are beautifully employed or you're kind of shaky, it's just always a great way because I was laid off May 1st and I had, high success in the organization, was well regarded, but I had some challenges. And I was thinking about this talk today and Brene Brown says, talk about your failures without apologizing. And so if we don't learn from our failures and our mistakes, then, insanity is just doing the same thing over and over again. And so looking back, so I'm taking those failures and those experiences and using them for good to be of service to other people and job searchers. So about a year in, I went on a spiritual retreat and I had this download and I was like, I'm going to start this little Instagram account and start talking about what I see in the job search process. And that's how Career BFF was born. And now I was able to pivot full time and be up and running. I had a wonderful foundation and tons of support. But the key component was LinkedIn. And I worked with Judy Fox as my LinkedIn business coach. And I had been actively showing up and finding my leadership voice and producing content since November. And when I posted that I had been laid off, the post had, I think, over 15,000 views, 115 comments. And within 2 weeks, I had 2 permanent offers, 2 consulting opportunities. and just tons of things coming in. It was all inbound. I didn't even have to apply for a job. And so
right.
If there's one thing I can recommend for job seekers is be active on the platform. Commenting is probably one of the most powerful things that we can do. And that's what I learned, through Judy Fox. But it's just changed my presence on the platform, and has really given me the confidence to be able to pivot like that.
Right. Absolutely. So what is our theme today and this month is overcoming obstacles, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead, tell us, you had a great idea for a theme for this. For a speech for this. Let's hear it. Let's hear what you've got to say about that.
I said in my post, I failed to get my manager to see my value. And looking back, if you're an employee in a situation and you're struggling like this, where there was jarred communication, expectations were misaligned, and I left meetings a lot of times with questions. So if I look back, I should have asked my manager, what are the best ways to communicate with you? I'm an extreme extrovert. I want to walk the halls, shake the hands, drop off goodies to my managers. And she was very introverted. And so it was a polarizing type of relationship. And I should have asked for a new leader assimilation. I should have advocated for some strength finders. I should have asked her to lunch,
Right.
But it's very rare that I come in contact with someone that I can't connect with. And at that point, it just comes to acceptance, right? And I just tried to put my best foot forward. And then I received a performance review in my mind that was unfavorable based on what I had accomplished in the last year.
Right.
And I never signed it, and I didn't advocate for myself. So that's the other thing about overcoming obstacles, speak up. I should have reached out to someone above the situation and ask for help, even in the height of a pandemic. And that was my thought. I stayed quiet because I was afraid. I didn't want to disrupt leaders that were dealing with much bigger problems, right? But it ultimately resulted in a layoff. And and it was heartbreaking. I mean, I loved my job and I loved the people I worked with. Mm-hmm. So just like so many other job seekers that are going through this process, we deal with denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance.
Yes.
Right.
And we'll be discussing that later, by the way, in our psychology segment. So you hit the nail on the head with that. You hit the nail on the head with it.
Yeah. So what did I do as far as overcoming obstacles? I mean, the first things I did was I asked the right questions as I was, being offboarded. I reached out for support. I am sober from alcohol for 9 years. So I upped my meetings, and I reached out to people that, I know that can hold space for me and just let me alchemize some of these feelings. I stayed professional. I focused on my mental health. I am a certified yoga teacher, so I upped my yoga classes and my meditation. And I built a budget, and I sat down with my family. Gosh, telling your 11-year-old that you lost your job is not fun. Yeah. I know so many people go through that. But we made it fun, right? I said, I'm going to hire you as my TikTok manager.
Oh, cute.
So, those are some things I did to take care of myself. And, then I started thinking, all right, so now it's time to dig deep, right? I want to be deliberate. I want to be inspired. I want to, take radical responsibility for my career and my business. And, the time is now. There were days that I had my pity parties and ate my feelings because that's one of my coping mechanisms. But sure enough, a couple days later, I got my butt out on my bike or on my, to a yoga class. I think the key thing for job seekers when you're going through similar situations is just to honor where you are, right? Yes. And reach out for support. I mean, I think we're all feeling very isolated right now. And I laughed when you said that you get tired of being on the phone. I was thinking one of the things I miss is having 10 to 15 phone screens a week. So that's the volume of people I was screening, just like you all. And I'm like, I miss that. So if anybody wants a mock interview, send me a message and I'll do it for you.
That's
good. And that's great advice. A great offering, by the way, because I tell you what, practicing interviewing is crucial. You know, I mean, you know, you've been in the industry and you've been on the other side of the table as well. And I want to circle back to something that you touched on. Folks, when you have a manager, first of all, management is a position of service, and don't let anyone ever tell you any differently. Okay. Right. And if they're not treating it that way, they're a poor manager.
Yeah.
But management is service, and their job is to take care of you and to make sure that you have everything that you need to be able to do your job successfully.
Right.
But you have to cultivate that relationship, to Anna's point, and you have to take some responsibility. They can come so far, and sometimes they don't realize that they're not connecting with you in the best way possible. They may think that they're being effective and they're not. I've had that happen because, like Anna, I'm very extroverted. And so I would spend time with my people and all this, but sometimes I would realize, wait a minute, this person's falling by the wayside and I need to connect with them. Or they would come to me and go, hey, you're ignoring me. Come sit down with me. Come have this conversation. So that one-on-one time, make sure, whether you're a manager yourself or whether you're the employee, make sure that you get that one-on-one time. Okay. And the same thing is true even in the job interview process. Take personal responsibility for what's going on. Don't blow people up and annoy them. We already talked about that. Right. But connect with them and make sure that you're getting quality connection, and find a way to personally connect with people. When they like you, they'll hire you. Okay. I have sent people.
We don't hire who we don't like.
It's so true. It's so true. If I've sent people that met, a quarter of the qualifications that some other person did, and they're the ones that got hired because they liked them. So definitely make sure you make that connection.
One of the things I coach my clients on, it's like, I believe it's qualifications. Connection over qualifications, right? If you can learn the language and ask the right questions to build that rapport, if you are missing, say, 20% of what they're looking for, you are going to be so irresistible, and they're going to fall in love with you in a sense because you have built that rapport, right? And they're going to see your capability, your character, your integrity, your values. And those things are going to go so much further for the organization or the hiring manager than checking all the boxes. And I hope that we've been through this pandemic and we're still in it, that organizations and hiring managers will be a little softer and kinder to job seekers. And honestly, with the number of boomers and traditionalists that are exiting the workforce, organizations are going to have to be more innovative with
100%.
They're onboarding candidates and really just kind of breaking down their whole process and putting it back together, right?
100%
of hiring training.
Right. I've actually been taking a client through that and like, okay, no, this is horrible. We need to take all this away and build it back up. I also have a client that's a completely new company. I love working with startups. It's my passion. It's what I love doing. And I've been helping them build their hiring process. So that's kind of fun. But you're right. You have to get innovative and you have to get creative. And a couple of things I want to address in the comment. First of all, yes, Ellen, you're right. To Anna's point, you have to address your mental well-being, where you are, be cognizant of it. We're going to have Michaela coming on in a little bit, about half an hour. She's going to be addressing that. She's a psychology major. She's spoken at multiple conventions and things like that. Very, very smart young lady. So she's going to come on. And it makes me sad because I see in Tracy's comments, never met a manager who thinks that way. That's tragic. That's horrible. That means that person is failing, and all those people are failing. And I will tell you, anybody out there who wants to learn about leadership, check out Sunny and Nina, our tech lady. If you could please put on a link to connect with Sunny. I can't pronounce his last name. I'm sorry, but he's phenomenal. He's a leadership expert. He knows I can't say his last name, but he's phenomenal. He's inspirational. He will connect with you. He will talk with you. And he wrote a book that is just truly spectacular. Definitely check him out. And there's links to all of that on his LinkedIn, but connect to people that are inspirational and understand it. And if you're in an organization that doesn't understand what leadership is, get out. It will not help your career. You will not ever be happy. Get on out of there.
And that's exactly like after a year of being in the seat, and this was like, I think my third or fourth boss in 2 years or less than a year, I was kind of like,
wow.
That's the dynamic now.
And
Yep.
I mean, it was really interesting going from the recruiting agency side where you had snippets of insight into different departments and organizations to actually sitting in the corporate world. And I was like, I think I'm a little too sensitive or feral. Someone said I was a feral wild cat for corporate America. And, but the key is that I listened to that internal pull. And it was like, okay, my original plan was like maybe 2 years from starting my little Instagram account would be an appropriate time to transition, right? And this was just a blessing in disguise. It just pushed me right out the door and it was like, you're ready, Anna, let's go.
So, let's do it. Yeah. I love that. That's really wonderful. I like that. I actually had a similar moment in my life. Not with starting my original recruiting company, but with another position where it just kind of went, I was in a bad partnership and something happened that was really horrible. And I had to fix that problem. And then I looked at my husband and we went, yeah, nope, let's just jump off the deep end and take off this direction. And it worked and it was successful. So don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. I mean, Anna, you've managed to be successful with it and all of that. And how do you think, by the way, how do you think that your show helps with all that? I want to kind of talk about that because we've been trying to talk about networking and getting on these shows with people like yourself. So how do you think that helps?
So, I mean, it's been such a lifeline for myself and the attendees of the Job Seeker Hotline. So the reason the hotline piece came up was because when we shut down all our jobs, we were asked to answer the HR hotline, and there's this 70s song by the Silvers called Hotline.
Oh, the Silvers.
Hotline. And it was just, it's our quarantine song, right? So anyway, I was talking to another professional that I highly know and recommend is Michael Goldberg. And we decided to start a hotline show. And I think we started it in April. So it's been going every week since then, except last weekend. And it just gave us all purpose. And the most important thing is it provided hope. Like, it's not the slickest show. It's not perfect. But the point is we have an amazing group of attendees, and the fellowship and the networking in that group and just the loving support in that container has been so powerful and so nourishing, I think, to people because, when we're home for weeks on end and you're endlessly applying for jobs and you're networking and you're having informational interviews and you're trying to put your best foot forward, having a place to be every week is very grounding for people, right?
That's a great word. And yes, 100%. Yeah. And that's why I want to encourage everyone, pick a show, pick a networking group, something that once a week, you're going to do that. You're going to have that connection with fellow professionals or fellow human beings. It doesn't matter what it is, what it's for. And just really, really take that time and have that regiment, because I think it's going to be very healing. And
celebrating each other's success, right? We have many people that have landed opportunities, but they keep coming back because we all just adore each other, right? So, it's just so fun. And it's been amazing to see the collaboration between attendees. Alma helped another young lady get her internship. Another HR professional has been helping. It's just been magical, really. And I'm so proud of everyone who attends. And it's every Thursday, 5:00 Eastern, 4:00 Central. So you can join us on Thursday, tomorrow. Yeah. And we have guest speakers. So another great opportunity. Dan Irvin did an amazing presentation for us. He's literally the most organized man on LinkedIn
ever in life. Ever. And again, everybody connect with him. I think we have the link dropped. Also connect with Anna to get additional information. Her link has been dropped in the comments. Yeah. But it's time to say goodbye, unfortunately, to Anna. Bye, Anna. Thank you so much. And everybody, seriously. Yes, definitely connect. Definitely check out her show. She's phenomenal. Her energy is beautiful. And she's got a lot to say. Trust me.